Radio. This is episode number 40, segment number 2. We are learning Be Live's new format on the fly. I'm here with Kim Fisher. She is a diva over 50. I'm super excited to talk with her today. So Kim, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name's Kim Fisher. I'm 57. I've been a trainer since 1982, and I have a platform now that's called Diva Over 50.
You know, you and I are like the kind of litter mates, right?
Yes.
we both kind of came up in the gym period. I'm just double checking to make sure, real time that I'm seeing this on my phone. Let's see. I think we're good. Awesome, we're good. Okay. So you and I came up at a time where they didn't have girls' bathrooms in some of the gyms.
No, they didn't.
which is kind of crazy because I don't know, 52 and 57 in today's day, not old, right? But when we first started training, it was a whole different story. So why are you focusing, you've been a trainer like me for like well over like 3/4 of your life, basically since you were like a peanut, right? Since you were like a teenager. Why focus now on women over 50? I mean, I don't know, because I'm like a woman over 50, but
because women over 50 have now, they're at the change of their life, and they have more time, more resources, and they have so many things they want to do, and but there's not that many resources for women over 50 to make it simple, safe, and effective for training, and just for life, really. So we're always looking for hacks. I don't know. I'm busy. I got a lot of interest. I want to do everything now, especially as you get older. Like, okay, I have a little bit more time, a little bit maybe resources, but how do I fit it all in? And that comes with fitness too. And
it's kind of funny too, because you start to realize as you get into your 50s, like, if I'm not keeping my muscle and myself in shape, I'm actually not just standing still. I'm going backwards.
Exactly.
Right. So if you don't, start doing something with yourself physically at our age, and you're just kind of hanging out on the couch like we did when we were teenagers, you're just not going to get away with it. And not even the sense of like looking good in your little jeans, right? We're talking about being able to carry your groceries, change your tire if you have to, like basically take care of yourself as a human being on the planet. If you're not actually adding muscle mass to your body, you're going backwards.
Right. And the same goes for not taking care of yourself, sleeping, all the other life hacks.
Right.
Cardio, fitness, it all kind of it's like Coco Chanel said, in your 20s, nature gave your face. In your 50s, it's merit. Meaning you got to fucking work for it, right?
Well, it's funny when I was. It's interesting that we're having this conversation, this impromptu part of the conversation that we're having. When I was in my 20s, I thought I better get out of fitness by the time I'm in my 50s, because nobody's going to want to train with me when I'm in no one's going to want to listen when I'm saying I'm 50s. I'm old, right?
Exactly.
And what I found out is people want to hear more of what I have to say about health and fitness so much that I brought it back into my business. I tried to move away from it, but if you're in shape, people are always asking you, how are you doing that? Because at 20, it was kind of like, you're 20. But in your 50s, you do have to work at it.
Right. No, I get asked all the time, but it's even more than that. And that's why I've pivoted, and I started the Women Over 50 because I want to be a resource, a wellness resource for women over 50.
Right.
And so a place that provides them with the body, mind, and soul. So we do retreats so we can bring it all together.
Right.
So online resources, et cetera, because there's so much information out there, and there's a few of us that are still in the game, but there's so much out there that when they went, everyone wants to Google this and over 50, this, over 50, that, but it's not really, there's so much BS out there, and there's so much that we get overwhelmed because we want some hacks. We want to get to, we have other things to do too. So we want to do what we can efficiently. And that's pretty much why I focus over 50, because I know what it's like to have, your hand in a lot of things, and you want to be good at everything when you get to, when you're our age.
You're multitasking of the crazy. I was just talking about getting back into flow. Like my 51st year was like the most unflow related year of my life. I don't even, if that's possible as an adult. I just sold the house, moved again. You know, you get out of flow, but I think that getting yourself involved in a fitness plan is one of the quickest ways to get yourself back into flow, because when you're taking care of yourself physically and mentally, then everything else goes easier.
Right.
It just does.
Yeah, that is actually it's called taking action when you get a fitness plan.
Right, you move a muscle, move a thought, right?
You got to be mindful of getting into the flow, like being present, being aware. Because a lot of times, we don't even know we're out of the flow. And so then when we become mindful, we actually sit with it and we think, okay, well, what do I want? Where am I? What am I feeling? What direction I want to go? So we make a plan. And that's the plan as part of getting back in the flow, starting an exercise routine, setting some goals, and getting back into the flow of it. And so what I try to tell everybody comes down to two things. You have to, one, be mindful.
Yeah.
Aware. And two, you just have to move. Okay, so.
Exactly.
Start with 1 mile a day, 10 minutes a day, do something. Because what you realize when you're at 50, we got lots of time.
Oh, tons.
When you're 20, you think, I got to do everything right now because I don't know how long, I don't have time. When you get to our age, you start to relax, you breathe more, and you're like, we got time, so relax. You don't have to do everything by tomorrow.
Right.
Start your routine today. If you only finish half of it, there's tomorrow. Do the other half. And that's what I try to preach. One step, baby steps, little things that all adds up, just to keep moving, whatever it is. I mean, some days you might feel like you want to hike Camelback. Other days you just want to do a yoga class. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you're doing something, you're not sitting.
I had a teacher once when I was in a yoga class when I first came to Arizona that said, if you're on your mat, you're practicing yoga. Mm-hmm. And, I had come from a gymnastics background, which was hyper militant. And then I came from a Bikram background, which had a lot of very, structured teachers. And that teacher gave me such a blessing. Because even this morning, I've got a little bit of a hamstring tear on the right side. And so I realized, like, if I push that hamstring tear, I'm going to have problems. So I just got to be there and be present and get myself back into a schedule. And then it'll come back. But, I can just lay there for a couple poses because I'm going to tear my hamstring, right? So that was a big blessing for me, was just to be present on the mat, just get to the gym, stretch, do the slow walk. Because if you keep on putting it off, you're never going to get there, right?
That's mindfulness right there.
Yeah.
Being present.
Yeah.
One step at a time, one breath at a time. And
where your feet are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't
matter. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned about being in business? Because, I think sometimes people don't take trainers and wellness professionals seriously because they think it's kind of a fluffy job. It's not a business. And right. Just being an artist is also a business.
Right.
Being an attorney is a business. Being a doctor is a business. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned about being a wellness professional businesswoman? Because you are a businesswoman.
Right. Just give yourself some grace,
Yes. Totally. Yeah. Okay. Keep talking. Keep telling me.
And don't be afraid to try different things, and really to listen to your heart, because your intuition, your gut, I call it my heart, because I lead everything with my heart, and usually it's right. When I'm resisting something, I sit with it, I look at it, and I'm like, why am I resisting that in my business? And so I pivot, and don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to shift. I've started a couple different things. It all comes down to my passion, which is helping people become better, right? But I started a 501c3 that helped women, girls race BMX, an organization. Totally out of my field. But the passion was to provide an safe environment to help these girls. And, when I wanted to, initially at 19, I wanted to open up an all-women's gym like a Curves would be today.
Right.
And that was impossible because of the economics of the whole fitness industry. We're going to big gyms, et cetera. So I walked into a World's Gym and I said, looking like this, basically. Right. I didn't come from a bodybuilder background. I came from academics. I said, I want to bring women in here, people in here actually, and train them. And they laughed at me because the only trainers or coaches in the gym were bodybuilding coaches, training them routines to get ready for shows.
Right.
There wasn't any like normal, they wanted just to get fit or toned, shaped, or stronger. So they said, okay, we'll take your money and we'll take any money that, you bring any members in. I'm like, okay.
I love you. I
started. So I started that way, and it was a vision I had. Just like so you go with your vision, you go with what's in your heart, where you go. There might not be a pathway, but you just like you did on the fly. You figured out this day on the fly. You just do it.
You just do it. People think it's a magical formula, like you got all the directions figured out. I remember hearing I was in some prayer meeting at some point. When you hear someone say something and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna keep that little nugget. And he said, stop waiting for your dang ducks to be in a row. Those dang ducks aren't ever going to be in a row. And as soon as you get the first 3 ducks settled, you're going to be like on the 5th duck, and the first duck's going to move because ducks have feet. They walk, they move, So he's like, stop waiting for your ducks to be in a row. They're never going to be in a row.
Life is too short and too long not to be happy.
Absolutely. I recently had somebody say to me, oh, Michelle, you've had so many businesses. And I was like, so what's your point?
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't compute with me, because even Steve Jobs, this article that I was quoting from Fast Company that was by Stephanie Vaza, she was talking about creating complexity and also about taking risks. And under the taking risk category, it talks about Steve Jobs actually created the environment at Apple where you could fail faster,
right,
and you could fail forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like part of anybody who's ever done anything worth doing,
right,
fallen on their ass 100 times.
Oh yeah.
Think about when we're walking, right? We don't just like start crawling and just get up and start running a marathon. I mean, we have to fall down a lot, right?
Right. Yeah, and I've fallen down a lot.
Amen.
And I get right back up. I don't fall long. I'm real quick at jumping back up. So,
I mean, God bless those people who were gifted a business or who got into a corporate situation and they've been able to do that thing for 25 years and they've never had to start over again. But for me, I've had to hit the reset button like a gazillion times. And, I talked to my girlfriend and my business coach, Trisha Wilkins, and we always say, it's not over till we win.
Oh yeah. I had a meltdown last Friday. Well, I called my son first. He's 37, had a mindful talk with him. And then I called my business coach. Well, I had a Zoom call planned with her. I sent her a text ahead of time. Just heads up, this is what's going on in my mind right now.
Yeah.
She went, LOL, I'll talk to you in an hour. And by the end of, because I was like almost at tears. I was just overwhelmed.
Oh,
I
sure.
had these expectations on myself, had deadlines, and they were looking too big. And by the end of the conversations, I was relaxed. I was happy. We pivoted again. We changed a little bit of the format, some of the approaches that wouldn't come because it wasn't resonating with me. That's why I wasn't going forward. And when I stopped to sit with it and think about it, why isn't this really making me happy? Because at the end of the day, I'm like, and that's why I opened up the call with her. I said, I'm not happy doing what I'm doing this way. There's a reason. It's too hard. I didn't come do all this stuff in my life at this point, not to do something I 100% love to do and enjoy all the time.
And that was the other thing this article said. It says you have to choose work that you love.
Right.
It has to be important. It has to be challenging, but not so hard that you get into analysis paralysis.
Right.
You have to create, know when your peak time to work is.
Right.
And to create, to be clear of distractions, to focus on the task, and then you find joy / happiness at the end of that.
Right.
And this is exactly what the TED article was talking about too, which I'm going to put in the post of my first one, where he started to think about what did people who were in World War II who had horrible things happen. What was the difference between the people that found happiness and the people that didn't? And the ones that did, in one way or another, found some type of flow and meaning in their life.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think I wrote something about this the other day. Is that struggle? The other side of struggle is greatness, right? You have to struggle.
Yeah.
But you have to believe that there's another side of it. Like there's light at the end of the tunnel. And that pushes you. That's how, like, when you get in a flow, you kind of, even like when you set your intentions and you put that out there in the universe, you create the energy. You're creating that flow and you're going towards that.
So as I'm looking at how Be Live works, this is so cool. Gail Friend just pinged in. Can you see what says that she said great conversation? Gail Friend is the owner of the bikini company that it's called Center Stage Suits. She made a suit for my bikini competition, and she's an entrepreneur. And so she's saying great conversation. We had this conversation in my living room, right, Gail? We were talking about getting out of flow and beating our head against the table and just things that happen that get you, bumbling along. But, the reality is that if you were your own business person, your own creator, your own everything, right? Then, what happened? Look at that. I can take it on and take it off. That's so cool. And let's see what happened here. This went away. Look, how cool is that? See, there you go. Something on fly. How cool is it? Can you see it on your screen? That's cool.
Yeah.
So Gail says, yeah, we did. We saw it. We had the same conversation. The reality is that if you have purpose in your life and you're going towards creating something magnificent and you end up completely failing, the reality is the journey on the way getting there, whether you're getting yourself in shape, you're creating a business, or you're trying to create the right relationship, if you
at the end of that
for your life, then that's what happiness is. It's not the goal. It's not meeting 12.
It's the journey. It's going towards it.
And we forget the reason why I created Relentless Talk Radio is just for the reason that you're talking about. Because if you were having your crappy day and you just happened to go on to Relentless Talk Radio and we were having this conversation, you would just start laughing.
Exactly.
Right? And you'd be like, oh yeah. And I'm telling you, Gail right now is laughing in her chair because we had just had this conversation about and Netflix conversations about naysayers. So Gail, tune into that one because we were talking about that too. When you're on your path, there's so many people that will say, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You changed your shit too many times, or nobody knows what you're doing, or what are you doing, or where are you going? Or don't go there. I mean, like, it's amazing no matter who you listen
to. I've had that all through my life.
Blah, 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 right? You know what I mean? But it does. It gets under your skin unless you have conversations with other crazy people like you and me. We're nutjobs, right? I mean, any young woman that walks into a gym and walks up to a big muscly guy and says, I want to train your people here, which is exactly what I did at Better Bodies in New York City. I was in my 20s. I walked up to the owner. I said, I know you've trained Rachel Micalizzi and Gladys Portuguese, but I want to train my people here. What do you think? And he's like, whatever, sure, absolutely, come on in, But, you got to have balls. Sometimes you have to have balls to be a chick.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what would you, how do people get a hold of you, and how do people train with you, and how do people tap into your stuff?
Well, right now I'm not taking any more one-on-one clients because I've been full, and I'm focusing on my online and my retreats. So we're starting the retreats. We're having monthly, little 2-hour fitness, where we have it's like a, like a little workshop. So we have every month, the second week of the month. And then the first of the year, we'll have our first retreat, and that's where we're kind of going, and we'll have a membership online. So everything will be online resources. So we'll have resources for them for exercise and meditations, mindful, everything that they need. But we'll have 2 big retreats and then a destination retreat. And that's where we'll focus on, because my passion is one-on-one, and not so much. I've learned through this last couple of years trying to do the online thing that I'm better if I'm one-on-one. So through now video, we can have calls, weekly Zoom calls with all my members, right? And instead of specifically going away from, doing design programs online for them, I'm do one mass workout, and then we'll talk about it with everybody every week, change it, and collaborate with the community. And then we'll have our retreats, and we'll have the monthly, bi-yearly, and then once a year, the big ones. And so we can do.
What's the website?
Diva Over 50, spelled out.
Over 50, DIVA.
So I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Every day, all over the place. So
look at this. I can actually put divaover50.com in the comments and hit enter, and it goes into the comments. I don't have to ask you to do that later, I think. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But definitely, it did. Look at that. divaover50.com. It went in there. Yay. How cool is that?
They can go to
I'm going to show you something. Look at that.
Facebook,
Be live, just let me actually say divaover50.com. I love this new thing that I'm learning right on the fly. That's fantastic. Thanks, Be live. That's so funny. That's too funny. So she's taking a picture of it. Yay! So
I'm getting so good at selfies.
You're a member of Relentless Talk Radio's Health and Fitness Group. And so you're one of the trainers that I'm allowing to post twice a month. And I'm going to be meeting with all you guys in a Zoom and kind of telling you what your schedule is. So I want you to post, and I'm going to tell you when you can do that, about divaover50.com in the Relentless Talk Radio Health and Fitness Group. Right. And we're gonna try to help you to drive some traffic of people in there. We have some retreats coming up this year too, and so there might be some ways we can collaborate. Right. So I'm going to send you over an email. We're going to have a one-on-one conversation on how we can support each other's endeavors and how we can help the people that are in that group and the people that are, generally the entire planet, because that's what we care about, the whole planet. Right. And so I will be in touch with you about that soon, but I really appreciate you going through my learning curve here with VLab. This is so flippin' cool. I have a whole little studio here. It's awesome. I'm super excited. So I will talk to you soon. Thanks for your time today and for being understanding and for your sense of humor. And your relentless stick-to-itness. God damn it,
Exactly.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right, babe. Bye.
Have a good rest of your day.
I will.